Other business would be to consider approval of the Southwest BMX outdoor track request. These, I guess we have Heather, Siobhan, Alyssa, right? Okay. Alicia.
All right. Okay, Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm Heather Salinas.
Siobhan Ledford.
Alicia Wegner.
And I just want to thank everybody for allowing us the opportunity to come back and speak with you and be able to present this more inclusive presentation. I'm not sure if you have the actual presentation or.
Do we have the, there it is.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we just put this together to give you a better feel of, who we are and what we plan to do, what our goal is here. So about the board, and I know you've probably had an opportunity to look at this, but we're a nonprofit and we're in, strictly by volunteers. So just to recap, we currently have an indoor season, which is at the Sweetwater Events Complex. And we run the months of October through March, sometimes April, if we're lucky. And currently, it's just the three of us that are on the board. And all through these last 2 years, we successfully ran, during the months of COVID. We even did staggered racing. So it brought in people from literally all over the United States that came to Rock Springs, and they were seeking tracks that were just open at that time. And we were very successful at it. So we're very proud of that. So to jump into the sport, and Siobhan can kind of give you more information on this and how the races work and what they mean, and how we get more people to come into the community here to race.
Okay, so here in Rock Springs, we're one of 3 tracks that we have in Wyoming. The other 2 are in Casper and Gillette, and they only host outdoor races for now. We earned double this year. So we are ranked by points as well on how many riders we get, new memberships, new striders. There's a whole system that USA BMX has that keeps track of points for each track. So you have to get first or second in the state, which last year we got second, which I think is pretty good because they get to race for half of a year and we get 5 weekends and that's it. So, and then we also have a state qualifier race that we host. We are hoping that when we have an outdoor track that we'll be able to be the #1 track and be able to actually hold our state finals race, which also goes off of the points. But you have to race in 2 of 3 of the tracks in Wyoming to be able to race in the state finals. So we would actually have to make that 3 out of 4 tracks because you can only miss 1 of them to be able to race in state finals. So we're hoping that maybe next year we could be the state final host. We also host a Gold Cup qualifier. That's a district race. So it brings everybody from the Northwest. So Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
That's our district. So we hold that qualifier race as well. And then we also have a scholarship race. It's called the Bob Warnicki Scholarship Race. So our kids and stuff that race can apply for the scholarship for college. So that race is all of our proceeds from that ends up going into that scholarship race fund. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they actually awarded that in March, and it was around $40,000 they distributed, amongst many racers. So it's pretty cool. We'll take the participants.
So as far as BMX goes, anybody can come and race. We have striders. Our youngest was like 18 months and our oldest is like 76. So it's fun for the entire family, boy, girl, doesn't matter.
disability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We offer a free 1-day trial for anybody that hasn't raced BMX. They can just come out, try it, see if they like it. And although we have a number of competitive racers, we have a lot of kids that do it just for fun and companionship.
Right, we actually have people that donate to us to allow kids that maybe can't afford to race that day. They'll help pay for those costs. So it's pretty neat program to allow kids to be able to do that. So sports tourism, obviously BMX supports that. I think we've touched on the people that are coming to the community, and obviously, you know, that money comes back to us, local restaurants, hotels. So when we host a weekend race, they're staying from Friday to Saturday or into Sunday. So when we do stuff during the summer, which we'll touch on here in a little bit, if we ever host any camps, those could be up to 4 days, which people are, you know, if they're like us, they travel for it, you know, you budget for it. So it's great, you know, and we can partner with our local businesses, like our food truck vendors. I know one of my friends, she has an ice cream truck, you know, so just people like that we can support, you know, in conjunction with what we have going on with our races. So community events. And, you know, this is why we do what we do and why we love this sport. So if once we get to the point of having the outdoor track built, we plan on hosting an Olympic day. It's actually a free race day, right? For everybody. It's part of USA BMX and what they do. Berlin Harris clinics. So he's a professional coach. And if you're familiar with anybody that's gone to the Olympics for BMX, he's actually coached those people. Our kids have attended his clinics. It's great. He's very supportive of the kids and, you know, teaches life lessons beyond just riding a bike. Bike wrenching clinics. Obviously, we're a board of moms, so we need to learn how to work on the bikes, and we like to teach that to the other moms as well, because oftentimes we're traveling by ourselves. So that's something that we support. And then obviously weekly practices and open races. So we plan on scheduling weekly or posting weekly schedules when we're going to practice or when we're going to race. And if we have open night, so if anybody wants to come and practice on the track, not necessarily, yeah, then they can do that too. So if it's okay, if we have one of our little BMX buddies here wants to say a couple things.
All right, about 2.5 years ago, my 6-year-old son then comes home with this little flyer in his backpack. It says BMX racing starting up, Southwest Wyoming, indoor BMX. The wife and I mulled around. We thought, you know, let's try it out. No big deal. Head first day into it. I mean, this is just such an amazing community. Everyone's friends, everyone's family, they help each other out. If you'd asked me 2.5 years ago, would I buy an enclosed trailer, stock it with bikes, go racing, hit all over states, I'd have told you were crazy. If, you know, I wouldn't have. The commitment that I see out of the kids, you know, first and foremost is huge. They give it all. They put it all on the track. They don't leave nothing behind. The volunteers, you know, these 3 women are amazing. They work tirelessly to help get through on the indoor, outdoor, everything else like that. And then the kids too. So what do you think about BMX?
It's fun. It helps you set goals. Like, if there's a person that you can't be in a race, it helps you try your hardest and get better at it. And it also teaches you to take care of your stuff. Like, for if you have a very expensive bike, you wouldn't want to mess it up. And it also teaches you time, because you would have to be at the starting gate at a certain time so you don't miss your race. And it's fun, and try hard and do your best, and that's all.
Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, so kids like him, it's a big reason, you know, why we do what we do. And it's a lot of work. You know, I don't think people realize that. So All right, educational opportunities. USA BMX actually has a STEM program, which, the more I looked into this, very, very interesting. And it's something that I think we should look into. Obviously, this is something for the future that we should consider, possibly even through the city of Green River. I know they have a summer program, but it's something that we should look into. Healthy initiatives, teaching kids fitness,
How to build tracks,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. How to use.
engineering of it all.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just building jumps, so. All right, now jumping into the track itself, I went out there and took some pictures of the current conditions, which Craig knows we've already started the demo, so that's gone. But this is what it used to look like. Obviously, it's not safe. And when talking to the contractor, when he was taking the wood out, just kind of burst, it fell apart right before their eyes. So obviously, what we're proposing is going to be a huge benefit to the area. So the racetrack, if you want to touch on this a little bit, I took a screenshot of the area itself. You know where the current bike park is at. And like we said last time, the bigger section will be the racetrack itself. And then the upper section, which is, close to, Stratton Myers, right, will be the community park, which is the pump track. And we have a lot of good ideas to go in there too.
So it just kind of touches on the different terms that are used when building a track. Staging is where our racers line up. The gate and the starting hill. The straights are everything that's in between the turns. Those have, the berms and the tabletops and the step ups and then our corners and then, the finish line. So our goal is to have our track, and it won't be exactly like the picture there on the top, but just a nice clean area, grass or turf, so that it's, a nice thing to see and not what it was before. So
Great. And then obviously the pump track that will be open to the community. We've been talking with Brad with the city of Green River. There are a lot of options that we could go with. So more or less just getting maybe feedback from the public. We'll see, but it's fairly simple to build depending on if we asphalt it or not. Those are things that we can look into next summer, but as long as we have something there that the community can enjoy, this will help support the mountain bike community as well. So our project estimated cost, hopefully you guys have had a chance to look at this, and we try to break it out by year on what we hope to accomplish. Unfortunately, in order to get up and running and be able to host races, the good chunk of this needs to come from this year. The track takes some special dirt. It was very sandy. If you ever went out there, walked around, there's no way you could ever ride a bike through there. So we've had to mix in clay. It may take a little bit more. You want to be able to compact that down, and obviously for the safety of the riders. And like we stated last time, we have to be able to fence it. That is a requirement per USA BMX because we are a sanctioned track. So it has to be fenced. And then, all through there, you guys can see. So do you have questions on the estimated cost thus far?
I would just like to make a comment. I went out and looked at the track with them. For one thing, being out in the middle of that, it's a big area. Until then, I'd always been on the edges, and there's a lot of space out there. But when we were walking around looking, they just had a picture that it was not in good shape. And then I went out there, Sunday, and they have already started work and got things moving. So, and it's a great physical benefit for our kids to keep them busy and active positively. And I really think we're in a time where we need to find as many things as we can to keep kids actively engaged. And I forgot your name, but he did a great job of saying some
Yes.
really.
Well,
How old are you? 8? Wish I'd have been that smart at 8.
Well, I just following up on the questions from last week, the race part will be secured, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then we have a drop gate now that's been donated. Is
Mhm.
that, so we'll be able to race right away.
Right.
I just see on this that the drop gate option A wasn't until year 3, but we have one now.
We
Yes.
do have one now. Yes, obviously we would want to upgrade that later down the road.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they've improved over the years.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference, believe it or not. So, but yes, we do have one that's been donated to us.
Well, I will motion to approve the $50,000 as submitted by
comments?
Southwest BMX.
Motion by Tom.
I'll
Board
second.
comments? So did you second?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I have a question first. So the in-kind services for the first year, did you break that out? Because you had it listed in a couple places, like the turf is going to be donated, but aren't there in-kind services for the first year as well?
Sor Brothers.
Yeah.
Our,
So the dirt is
Mhm.
being donated, but we do have to pay the transportation cost, which is 15,000. And then,
that's to the direct builder cost, right?
Part of the
Mhm.
fencing costs. So the price that's on there for the fencing is just for the materials. The labor to install it was also donated, which I think was close to $10,000. Okay. I'm looking at him because it's his company that is going to be installing that for me.
So,
So,
and going back to the turf, I talked to Doug about that and we're removing our turf from our football field.
Mhm.
And so one of the things we have to do is visit with them about donating that.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Hamel?
Awesome. And then the second question I had was the drop gate. You mentioned that it needed work. Is it safe? Is it usable? Because it,
the one we have now is usable and it is safe, but we would like to upgrade it.
they have
in
a
the future.
safer model of
Yeah.
the gate.
It's
so
still
the-
safe, it's
yeah.
just an older model.
okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Everybody done? Okay, let's do this again. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that passes. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks for
you.
coming
We
back again
appreciate
too.
your time.
Appreciate it.
Good
Yep,
job,
thank you
ladies.
very much.
That was very helpful.
Next thing on our agenda would be preliminary budget. Chris?
Good evening, Vice Chair Sanders, Superintendent Behringer, and Rec Board trustees. We are presenting the preliminary budget for the Recreation Board. We are estimating revenues to be $947,515 and estimated expenditures $1,366,769.86. Most of these items you're aware at your last meeting, you approved many of these grant items. The one thing that we don't have in there right now would be the 50,000 that you just approved for the bike park, but we will amend that for July. Just so you know, we're starting out the year with a $2,092,000 cash reserve. We're predicting to end with a $1,672,934 cash reserve. And that decrease is mainly due to two things. One thing is we're replacing the turf field, so the reserve for the Lincoln turf field will be expended. And then some of our grants are a little higher this year. So does anybody have any questions that I could answer?
Thank you.
That's one we need to vote on.
I think you do need to vote on it.
I'll make a
Um,
motion to approve the proposed preliminary budget changes from Chris.
Any
Second.
comments? Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I would entertain or invite any board or superintendent comments. If there are none, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Ready for the next one?
order. Miss Anne Marie, would you lead us in the pledge? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You don't do it straight tonight? Oh, for summer. Oh, that's good. Okay, first up, we have Miss Liz Toman here for recognition of the FFA state accomplishments.
Chairwoman Morris, Superintendent Behringer, members of the board, thank you again for having us here tonight to recognize some pretty outstanding achievements of our FFA members that they had at our Wyoming State FFA Convention back in April. We had 25 students compete in 15 career and leadership development events, and all of them did an outstanding job. And each year they continue to grow even more and more and place a little bit higher each year. So that's really fun to see. Some really exciting highlights that we had. We had the reserve champion marketing plan team, which was Ava Kelhofer, Ivory Neer, and Elena Sharp. Give a little wave. Let's see. Tristan Draws was the reserve champion extemporaneous speaker. He's not with us tonight. And then Lindsay Meltzer and Tessa Robinson received a gold emblem for their agri-science fair division, which actually qualifies them to move on to nationals with that project. So that's very exciting. And then also this year, our chapter was ranked a gold emblem chapter. We were one of 6 of the chapter of the year finalists out of 58 chapters. And we also won an award for the chapter innovation and leadership development. Those are first for our chapter, which is very exciting. And I'm very proud of all of our members here and not here. And I'm pretty excited to see the cool things that they continue to do each year. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Mr. Cassidy with the Skills USA state winners.
Good evening. Thanks for letting us share this. My sidekick, big tall dude next to me that hangs around me a lot, Cole Murray, is not here tonight. He chose to go to a parade. Can't believe that. He went to a parade. So I'm going to talk about him anyway. Cole last month won the state championship at the Skills USA cabinet making championships. Cole is a 2-time state champion and last year also placed 3rd in the nation in cabinet making for Skills USA. The students are given detailed plans of a project. They're given just enough of materials to finish the project with minimal mistakes. They're given 8 hours to finish that project. And Cole again completed his project with absolutely no mistakes. His craftsmanship is outstanding. We're very proud of Cole and how he represented Green River High School at Skills USA Championships. Cole has an outstanding knowledge of how to build things. He has an engineering mind that makes him very outstanding at designing, planning, pricing, and building things. Congratulations to Cole Murray. We're very proud of him and the builder he's become. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. I'm going to piggyback off of Tim. I also brought a group of health careers students to Skills USA for the Health Knowledge Bowl, and they competed in first aid CPR as well. Our Health Knowledge Bowl team, there's a team of 4. They took 3rd place overall. They did very well. That is a team of Xander Lindsay, Addie Beardsley, Alicia Harrison, and Alyssa Cudney. Just a little tidbit about both or all 4 of them. Xander is a human encyclopedia. That boy knows anything and everything. He just needs to hear it once and he knows it. Addie Beardsley, she's very adaptable. She's a problem solver. Alicia Harrison was the leader. And Alyssa Cudney has no fear and she just gets down to business. So congratulations to those 4. Xander had to work. The other 3 are at the parade also. So all 4 will be very trustworthy and caring health professionals should they choose to go that route. So good job to those 4.
Thank you.
We also had one more student place 3rd in the welding competition for Skills USA, and Miss Gottfredson couldn't be here, so I am here in her place. I believe this is the first time, and Tom, correct me, in 8 years that Green River High School's taken a welding team to Skills USA. I know Mrs. Gottfredson was really, really excited. Branson Barton placed 3rd at that competition, not knowing what to expect and do, so that's pretty exciting. He essentially was given a blueprint of plans that he had to go and bring to fruition and weld. He also won the Western Wyoming welding competition a couple weeks ago. So if you need something welded, Branson Barton is probably your kid to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Danielle Forbush couldn't make it tonight. She is over in Rock Springs and just got to town when she realized she had the school board meeting and just wasn't able to drive back in time. So I'm going to talk about band and choir tonight. Back in April on the 21st, we had our district music festival, which is a festival where we bring all of our ensembles. So all the bands, my bands, and the 2 jazz bands, in addition to the 4 choirs at Green River High School, and we're adjudicated by 2 hired music educators or retired educators, and we receive a score. And this recent festival, these 3 students also who are part of FFA and many more were also at this. You have Ivory, Elena, and Ava as part of these. And we were able to walk away with bands, all walked away with superior ratings, 1s across the board, which is the highest rating you'll receive. And then choirs walked away with 2 superiors and 2 excellents. So it was a great turnout this year and we had a great experience. So congrats to all of them and congrats to the music program there.
Congratulations. Okay. EA Art Fair students, Michelle.
Thank you, guys. So this year we took 3 students to Expedition Academy and 16 students from Expedition Academy to the State Art Symposium put on by the Wyoming State Educators Association. We took 16 pieces of artwork, and for our little program, that's quite a bit. We took 3D and 2D pieces. We brought home 5 ribbons. Aurora here, she took home 2 ribbons for sculpture. Jada Gundas took home 2 ribbons for photography, and Taylor Melhorn took another ribbon for photography. We also put Jada forth for a scholarship. I believe they give 5 to 6 scholarships a year from the Wyoming State Educators Association. She brought home a $1,000 scholarship.
Nice.
This year will be taken to Western Wyoming Community College.
Nice, congratulations. Okay, Mr. Stice and Miss Mosley.
Hi, I have a whole slide presentation. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's do this. I'm very proud of our kids this year. Got some interesting stats to show you. Do I have the clicker? Do I have control? Yes. All right. All right. So we had an outstanding year. It seems like we've had those in the last couple of years, and I'm really, really proud of our momentum that we're building. So 87 blue ribbons, you can read it up there. 51% of our pieces got ribbons. Some schools took more pieces than us, obviously. Some people got more ribbons than us, obviously. But of all the larger schools, I think there were 2 schools that had a higher percentage take than us, but they had like 1 or 2 pieces that they took. So that's really, really good. Hale Iwan had a piece selected by the First Lady of Wyoming to be displayed in the Governor's Mansion over the year. We had 6 Congressional Awards that were given to 3D pieces. We were awarded those. Last year we were about the same, which is outstanding. Of the 20 of the over 4, I guess around 2,500 pieces that are 3-dimensional at state. So that's like sculptures and pots and stuff like that. Of the 20 they select, we got 6 of those. So that's really outstanding. Sam De La Riva got 2. She's a repeat on there. And you can see all the other names up there. A lot of those are seniors, so they're not here tonight. I do have some wonderful potters here that took home a bunch of ribbons and they came. So I've got Tally Kilpack and Mia Rosas with us, and they're outstanding. Mia last year got 2 Congressional Awards, so that they're no slouches when it comes to making pots. I'm gonna show you pictures now. You ready? So this is them at state. So these are their pieces that they were selected for. There's Sam with her 2. I've got a detail shot of her fish office people. It's probably the coolest sculpture I've ever seen in my life. It's so outstanding. Chance and Hale. This is what state art looks like. The event center kind of takes on different feels for each different event. And this is it for state art. A lot of different than like wrestling mats or a basketball court in there. So. Oh, and I forgot to share one thing. When I get to the slide, I'm going to kick it over to Denise. So the students receiving some awards up there. these are Sam's pieces. They're way cool. She was awarded one of the $1,000 scholarships that they give away up there too for her work. So she's going to go on and study art, I think at Weber State is what she's thinking now. Lily Munoz, she applied for the scholarship. She's going to the University of Wyoming. So outstanding thrower. Those pots on the left, I cannot throw that. And that's what I told her when she made those. I can't make that. You like, you're in new ground for me, to me. So go.
Ooh, my turn. Hi. This is a photograph by Sydney Smothers. She is here tonight and she won a Congressional 2D award. And then the one on the right with the horned winged cat, that one is by Kylie Douglas. And she also received a Congressional 2D award. So we're just very proud of them. They're both freshmen. So it's a really big honor for them to be given this super high honor so early. So we need to keep them in the arts, right? Yeah. Right.
Okay, I'm supposed to also talk to you about my the BOCES grant that I get each year to bring in a professional potter. This year we brought back Martha Grover. She was here back in 2015. Unbelievable teacher, incredible potter. She is a machine. The number of pieces that she can crank out in a small amount of time is just awe-inspiring. And a lot of our success is because of this program. The reason our three-dimensional artists are doing so well and our two-dimensional artists are getting a chance to work with professionals. This year was still a little bit weird with COVID and all that. So we did one, and usually I bring in one in for my advanced 2D class. They were like, meh, not really so much. So, okay, we'll just do a 3D one. So next year we're going to do 2 again, I think. So here's her doing her magic on the wheel. She's great to work with people, really interactive. She could easily have been a teacher and been outstanding at that too. Pretty incredible that she can make her living off of making things. It's harder to do than you would think. Kids had a ball. They all loved her. And that's finally it. Thanks for letting us brag. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now is the appropriate time for public comment, time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Is there any public comment this evening? Mr. Obrey.
Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Behringer, just wanted to share some information that was passed on from Mr. Parsons today, who was down in Cheyenne, and only as Mr. Parsons can do. He shared, rest in peace, dear friend, Karina White, as she passed away this afternoon. She and I were great partners in crime on the speech and debate circuit for many years, and we were a damn good team. She had a long, hard fight with MSA, and Karina had a huge impact on Sweetwater County students and students across the state. She was as kind a person as you'll ever meet, and her students loved her. Hurricane Karina was loved by so many, and she will be deeply missed. And she's had a huge impact on our Green River and Expedition Academy students. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Our thoughts are with her family and her friends, so thank you for sharing. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on, we need approval of the agenda, please. Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve the agenda.
Tom first,
Second.
Ashley second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, approval of consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Brenda,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? Anything anybody would like to pull off? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have Ms. Lisa Robeson for consideration of the ratification of interest-based negotiation agreement.
Oh, well. Now I know you're really tall. Superintendent Behringer, Madam Chair, and board members, the GREA
voted on the agreed upon negotiation settlement, and the results were 150 of our members voted out of the 170. 126 voted yes, 80, which was 84%. 24 voted no, which represents 16%. So the negotiation agreement passed with GREA. Okay. We have to approve that, right? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the ratification agreement?
So moved.
Moved by Ashley. Second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you Thank very you. much. Okay. District goals and leadership. Reminder that tomorrow there is a retirement social from 4 to 6 here at central office. Is that correct? Okay.
Yep. Right in this room.
Right in this room. It will be a party. It will not be a meeting. So come and join. Like you said, it'll look very different tomorrow than it does right now. So come and do that. The Granger meet and greet was a joy. We saw Dr. Demaray's fan club out there. He is very loved. And the only thing I will say, Doug, she's got one door that needs fixed to her kitchen. So tag. Anybody else have anything to say?
No, it's just exciting to go. The first time I'd actually been in that school, and it was nice to watch the Mr. Demaray fan club. That was pretty cool. So anyway, it was just it was a pleasure to be there, see some familiar faces and see a new school. So
Anything else? All right, thank you. It was fun. Okay, next we have, oh, I guess I didn't see that added. I think we need to amend the agenda. I apologize. So I'm going to go back. So we have a motion to add 7.01 approval of certified retirement request.
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
Second.
Second by Ashley. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now you can go ahead, Dr. Fuchs.
Thank you, Madam Chair Morris.
No, that's okay.
Superintendent Behringer, trustees. These certified retirements, they're some of the toughest names that come through, and we are certainly going to miss Terry Jones, and what a phenomenal elementary teacher and staff member to this district. And we wish her the absolute very best and congratulations. So for your consideration on her retirement.
Do I have a motion to approve the certified retirement request? Who was that? Moved by Brenda, second by Dave. All those, or any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And you're back up again.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Certified resignations, I think I have next on my list, but if that's okay. I have 2 certified resignations for your consideration. Maria Anderson, 4th grade teacher, Monroe Elementary, and Kaylor Dawson, physical education teacher, Washington Elementary. And we wish both of those folks the very best.
Do I have a motion to approve those certified resignation requests?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Brenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now your certified contracts.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Erica Stearns, certified contract counselor at Green River High School. Josie Givens, speech language pathologist, district-wide. Keith Brown, physical education, Washington Elementary. And one you are not seeing up there, Kathy Saul, 5th grade teacher, Truman Elementary. And we continue to close out the majority of our certified hires at the meetings. So feeling really good about that. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve those new certified contracts?
So moved.
Moved by Ashley. Second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And now I have a presentation from Miss Brittany Montgomery, who did not bring her baby.
Thank you, Madam Chair and School Board and Superintendent Behringer for this opportunity. So I went to Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to come back and share with you guys some of the things that we did through the program. Before I do that, though, I have to continue a story that hasn't been finished yet. So This is the piñata that you guys got us, but it was too cute. We couldn't bash it. So we had to share that because it finally came. The other one, Mary thinks, is at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. So anyways, just so thank you guys for this. We do have one. We haven't had all the kids and me at school yet. So when that happens, we will do the piñata. Yeah. So thank you again for that. All right, so let's talk about Washington. Next, oh, I can do it, right? Okay, so just a little background on this program. So when you become the National Teacher of the Year for your state, you get entered into this Ccsso National Teacher Program. And they do all kinds of professional development with us throughout the year. And one of those is this week where you go to Washington. So there are 56 total, we call them TOYS, Teachers of the Year. We have obviously the 50 states, and then we have the 5 territories, and we also have a Department of Defense educator that's in South Korea that they recognize. So that's why the 56. And so we flew in on a Saturday, and then everything started Sunday. And I just don't even know how to express how incredible it felt to enter a room with 56 other passionate educators that are making so many differences in this world. I keep explaining to people that it was like a therapy session for teachers. It was just, we were able to be heard and talk to each other, and we had so many solutions we came up with. So it's really neat. I don't know how to explain it other than that. We had to do virtual development towards the beginning. So this was the first time we actually met each other. It was very interesting. 56 very interesting characters all coming together. But it was really neat. So 2 of the days of the week, we worked on professional development as a cohort. So the 56 of us, we worked on learning your leadership. So becoming the Wyoming Teacher of the Year, you are entered into speeches and professional development that you have to create and all kinds of things. And so this wonderful organization helps us through that because that's not my thing. So it was extraordinary. I learned more than I could possibly just in 2 days comprehend. So we started with advocacy, which is a really important part of this platform. You start with your circle of influence. So we talked about what influence do we have in our classroom? What influence do we have in our school building? What influence in our district, and then to our state? And then I like to think beyond, so community, world, things like that. So we broke it all the way down and started in our classroom. How are we impacting there? And then built plans from there. So I've got some great plans, just so you know, if you're interested. And then another part of that advocacy that I thought was really incredible and something I'd love to bring to teachers. They had us doing, it was almost like role play, and there was 4 of us. They'd give us a scenario, and there were 2, either a teacher and a student or 2 teachers. And then there was an administrator or a superintendent or a legislator. And we had to have very uncomfortable dialogue to learn how to do this very difficult work. And it's probably one of the areas I've grown the most is, being in that uncomfortable situation. But this work is so important. These kids matter. The teachers matter. Everybody that works with kids matter. And so, it was not beautiful, but it was really powerful work. So it's something, to be able to practice some of that stuff, I think would be nice. The other part of this is that you build your own platform, and they teach you how to do that. We start with stepping stones. What are things that are really important to you as an educator? And from that, you build your platform, and then you have to sit in front of basically like a little firing squad, and they push you and say, what about this? What about this? What about, how are you going to do this? What are you going to, and again, it was uncomfortable, but it pushed us, and we have some really important purpose that is going to come out in the next few years that we're really excited about. So that was just the professional development kind of piece. Another part of it was having some of the 2020 and 2021 Teachers of the Year come back. We found out that also being part of this cohort, we are entered into the TED Masterclass, and they're going to teach us how to make our own TED Talk. And the 4 people that are up there actually got to give theirs to us, and they were recorded. So super powerful stories, each of them very different, but very powerful. Up in the corner there, this particular story I thought was just amazing. So he's the 2021 teacher, I believe, in Virginia. And this was one of his teachers. And his TED Talk was all about the importance of just one teacher and what one teacher can do. And he, you know, had talked about being ripped from his home, put in foster care, things like that. And this teacher saw him and, you know, told him he had a purpose, helped him, and he ended up going into education. And she would drive him to student teaching every morning, pick him up at the end of the day. Anyways, and he surprised her with his speech. So that was awesome. Anyway, so a TED Talk is another piece of this. So apparently we're going to do that. Another full day was at the Smithsonian, which if anyone's ever been there, it's absolutely incredible. So we started in this gorgeous room here with some speeches, and then they actually had us become hands-on learners, and we had to build things and create things. And they taught us some of the resources that the Smithsonian actually has that we can utilize here. So that's another thing that I would love to share, is all of those incredible resources we don't have here, but we can bring them virtually into our classrooms. So that was huge for me. There's our whole cohort in front of it. So that was another powerful day. And then we went to the Department of Education, which was another extraordinary moment. Up in the corner there, that's our Midwest little team. So I'm obviously Wyoming. Next to me is North Dakota. In the middle is Montana, and then South Dakota, and then Idaho. So it's neat to meet people that are touching our states. And Utah is actually from Ogden, and I'll be visiting him soon. So again, it's a neat cohort. We heard from Secretary Cordona there and some of the other people, and it was just neat to see where it all stems from, right? Like everything that happens here starts there. So it was really neat. And then they had actually a bunch of educators that have turned into Department of Ed people telling us how they transitioned into those roles. So that was neat too. And then we went to the White House. This was, I don't have words. Ronald Reagan's one of my favorite presidents. So I was excited to take that picture. You can see our Wyoming flag. You'll be very proud. Me and maybe 4 other states knew our flags. So I was like, how do you not know your flag? Like, we love our flag in Wyoming. People wear it. It's like everywhere. And they were like, no, we're not. I was like, that's guys, you got to know your flag. So there's Nick and I, he got to come to the White House, which was neat. Up in the corner there, I actually zoomed in with my class, and then the whole school ended up jumping on. And so they got to go inside the White House with me. And so that's their version, what they're seeing. And then there's me showing them, you know, them having this opportunity too has been absolutely extraordinary. When would Wyoming kids get this view of the White House? They got to see some of the china that past presidents have used. We saw stemware that presidents had used, all the paintings that, you know, anyways, it was a really neat experience. They kept asking me like, where's the president? I'm like, he's not with us right now. Like, he's busy. So their questions were absolutely hilarious. So they also kind of sat in for the ceremony, which came after. So we got to take pictures with Dr. Biden and meet her one-on-one personally. And then we all got together to do a picture with the president, Dr. Biden, and then Secretary Cordona, and then that's our cohort. Our national teacher of the year is from Ohio. His name's Kurt Russell. He's in the middle there. He's up in the corner with the president and the Dr. Biden. So this was our ceremony, and there was a lot of speeches. And one thing that I took from it, my substitute that day, they were watching these speeches. And at one point, the president talks about, we need to take care of our subs. And one of my students turns around and she's like, how does he know you, Miss Thane? And so again, it's like, you know, they're listening, they're watching, it's incredible the connections that they've been making and realizing it is a big world, but it's not at the same time. So that was really neat. And then Dr. Biden in her speech, she talks about ringing a bell and the importance of never stop ringing that bell for students. And so we actually got a bell from the White House and presidential kisses. So that was pretty exciting. And so I brought the bell if anyone wants to see it. Yeah, and then this was my favorite day, Advocacy Day. So they did not tell us heading in that, hey, you're going to be talking to United States senators and United States House of Representatives. Good luck. So the one nice thing is I got matched up with Idaho and Montana. So there was 3 of us in our group. Most people just had 2. And so we started our day at the Capitol at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we did not stop until about 4:45. Had over 20,000 steps because no one's office is in the same building. And so we, Wyoming stepped up big time. We had Senator Lummis meet with us, and we had Representative Cheney sit with us, and they were so excited to be there with us. They could not tell us how much they loved us, how much they supported us. They wanted to hear our stories. They gave their own personal stories. It was incredible to have those opportunities and to just kind of give a picture to what education's looking like right now in Wyoming, since they're in DC. They don't have that opportunity a lot. So it was eye-opening, and they were very respectful, and it was just beyond incredible. So then after we met with Wyoming people, we went and met with Montana senators, and then we met with staffers in Idaho. So it was really neat. It's very intimidating, but they were very kind, and they're representing Wyoming well. And then the last night we did a gala. And at the gala, Google showed us this doodle up in the corner, which was actually on Google a few days ago for Teacher Appreciation. So this is, we partner with Google for a lot of things. And so our entire cohort made this doodle. They took pieces of each of ours and they made this, and then they shared it during Teacher Appreciation. So that was really neat. So we get to do a lot with Google as well. So that's been another piece of like, I didn't know Google Education could do all of this. So lots of extraordinary opportunity and things that I'm excited to share here. So then how did I bring it back? So this was just me kind of explaining to them some of the things that I purchased and some of the things that were gifted, things like that. And again, their questions are hilarious. And I'm excited to see it through their eyes as well. And then just coming and sharing with you guys, I thought was important, and just letting you know that all of this stuff that I've been learning this year, I hope to import into our district to make it just the best that there ever is and was. So yeah. All right. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
It was a busy week. We'll say that.
I want to say thank you for representing not only yourself so well, but Wyoming and our district.
Oh,
We couldn't be any
thanks.
prouder.
Oh.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, we're just very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. It's been neat. Yeah. I had to talk to the state school board, and that was also very intense because I thought they were just going to award me, and they were like, we can't wait for your presentation. And I was like, what presentation? But it all worked out very well. Turns out I can talk about anything. So it's great. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Anything else?
Anybody else? No, thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Okay, next up we have Miss Rachel Todd for going out to bid for oil, gas, and fluids.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Behringer, and trustees. We would like to request authorization to solicit bids for fuel, oil, DEF, and antifreeze for the Transportation Department with specifications for the transportation fleet's needs. We will evaluate the responses and present recommendation for consideration at the June board meeting.
Do I have a motion to approve the request to bid fuel and fluids?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Joe Hamel, I'm sorry I insulted you, Doug. That was, I know.
Thank you, Chairman.
Poor Joe, poor
Morris,
Doug.
Board.
Yeah.
So in front of you or behind you would be our recommendation for district security this summer. It's an upgrade of 3 intercoms, one at central office, one at Expedition, and one at Lincoln Middle School, so that here at central office, they have the ability to call all schools from here. And item number 4 is the emergency penance for the high school, which would be our try at the fobs for the teachers, which teachers would get a fob, press a button, and a series of things would happen at that time, 911, doors locked, things like that. And it's kind of an experiment up there to see how the district likes it and how it works for us. So, so this is a recommendation out of the Facilities Committee last week, and it's $180,400 for this summer.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the intercom upgrades not to exceed $180,400?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Brenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So second item is earlier this year, we approved a water and ice shield for the high school in a portion of it. But as the spring went on, it became apparent that over the gym is in need of that also. So this is a change order, recommendation for a change order for that to happen this summer also.
Can you scroll down? How much is that?
It is $64,790.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve that change order for the roofing at the high school or the gymnasium not to exceed $67,790 or $64,790? I apologize.
So moved.
Moved by Brenda, second by Ashley. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss Christine, we have you up for preliminary budget for 22-23.
Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. We're presenting the preliminary budget. I'd first off like to thank the business staff and our administrative team that worked on this, and especially I'd like to thank Corinne. She put these spreadsheets together and worked really hard. Everybody worked hard on this, so thank you all. So our preliminary budget estimate is $60,437,034. I'm just going to cap a couple of highlights for you. In the general fund, this budget was put together while facing a $600,000 reduced revenue position due to declining enrollment. The district took the approach that we would keep our class sizes intact, keep our staffing intact, and build this budget around our staff. And that's where we came up with 39.6 million, and we dealt with that $600,000 reduction in revenue. Just so that you know, we've talked about it before, but with our declining enrollment and the 3-year rolling average, we will be facing that amount of reduction again if things stay status quo for next year. So just have that on your back burner, and we're going to try to deal with it in a positive way. Regarding special revenue, our special revenue budget comes in at $9,516,027, and that's quite an increase, a 65% increase over last year's budget. But you know that is due to the ESSER funds that have come into the district. Food service, we are bringing in revenue of 1.321 million, and expenditures are estimated at 1.58 million. I will talk about that on the next agenda item in just a minute, but Over the last 2 years, we have gained ground on our cash reserve in food service. And so that is what is going to help us through next year with that reduction in revenue. The other highlight I want to mention is that virtually almost all equipment that was requested will be run through our special reserve fund for equipment that we set up 2 years ago. We have 1.6 million in that fund, and I think we should be thankful that we have that fund. This would be for things that the normal building budgets or the normal supervisory budgets would really take a hit on if they had to run them through their budgets. So with that, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Anyone? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the preliminary budget for 22-23?
I'll motion to approve preliminary budget.
Tom first,
Second.
Dave second. Any discussion?
The Region 5 BOCES request, is that different than? Well, it's the same as last year.
Yes, the numbers at the bottom are just informational, and it is the estimate of what the last year's requests would generate based on our estimate of the assessed valuation. That is subject to change once we get the actual numbers in June.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. And then you staying up there, Miss Chris?
Yes. The next item, I'm going to present on behalf of Director Kennison of the Nutrition Services Program. Since March 16th of 2020, you know that we have been offering school lunch and breakfast under the federally funded seamless summer option, in which meals were free to students. It's been a great program, actually. It's benefited our nutrition services program, number one, by increasing participation. We saw significant increases. It has provided a means for us to upgrade some outdated equipment. It has alleviated 1 year of a general fund subsidy, which was a savings to general fund of $260,000, and it has increased our nutrition services reserves. So it's been all good. It's been good for everybody. Right now, the message that we are receiving from the USDA is that the plan is to return to paid meals beginning July 1st of 2022. We know that people are working behind the scenes to try to get the free meal program to be continued, but as of right now, it is scheduled to go back to the paid meal program July 1st. So in anticipation of that, the things that we need to be aware of is, our families, unfortunately, are going to have to adjust to paying for meals again, which is going to be huge, and not to mention with inflation that everyone is dealing with. We know it's going to impact our participation rate, most likely. We'll get a reduced federal reimbursement rate, which goes with the program. And it will require us to use some of the cash reserves that we have built up under the seamless summer option program over the last 2 years. Also, we will return to having to budget for our general fund subsidy. So right now we do have some subsidy budgeted for in the food service program. And just with the estimates that we are trying to make with, we're trying to go back to participation for the last 2 years is pretty much, you cannot hang your hat on that because your participation went up in part due to free meals. So we're using 1920 through March 13th of 2020 as a baseline for what our participation was, and trying to estimate, what going back to paid meals is going to do to us. In addition to that, we have cost pressures I know Leah has run into, they've had issues with food availability. They've had issues with prices being doubled and tripled on some items. Delivery costs, of course, are going up, especially with the gas prices. And some vendors have just pulled out of the market because it's been too traumatic with some of the federal changes and some of the supply chain issues. They've just exited the market. So those things combined have really challenged our program. Long story short, we have put together a proposal, and the last time we increased our ticket prices was in 16-17. Prior to that, it was 11-12. So we've had a history of about a 5-year interim between price increases. This would be a 6-year interim. The proposal is calling for a 50-cent increase to lunch prices across the board. And you'll see breakfast increases beginning at 15 cents for elementary and going up to 35 cents for adult, but 25 cents for high school. I just want you to know that if the plan changes, if you were to approve this tonight, that it would be contingent on returning to the paid meal program plan that the federal government is proposing right now. So with that, I'll try to answer any questions.
So if they continue to fund the seamless summer option, we wouldn't have fees, right?
Yes, I would like the any kind of approval of this would be contingent on returning to the paid meal program.
You know, and this is such a big change for our families because we have to go back to filling out applications if they qualify. They used to have till September to get those applications in if they had been approved the year before. Well, we don't necessarily have applications from the year before. We've tried to collect them. So with this, we will start getting word out with the content that it is contingent upon the approval, but we really need to get the word out to our families and start getting that rolling because this is it's gonna take a while. So the best thing we can hope for is that whatever we send out is wrong, but we do need to get this out to them.
All motion to approve the increase pending the paid meal program.
Second.
Okay, first by Tom, second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have a budget update for us?
Okay. So the budget update for tonight, as you know, ESSER funds have provided Sweetwater School District 2 the means to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. The district has addressed delivering instruction both in person and remotely during the initial stage of the pandemic, delivering in-person instruction for the 21-22 school year, investing in classroom technology and curriculum enhancements, providing staff development opportunities, providing safe and clean facilities for students, staff, and community, and mitigating grant and general fund revenue reductions due to declining enrollment. Many of these initiatives are aimed at addressing lost instruction time for students, which meet the requirements within the ESSER guidelines. The impacts of the pandemic and the district's response to it has been made possible by the teachers, the support staff, and the administrators. And our community as a whole has really responded as well. But the staff has worked diligently to provide in-person instruction during this 21-22 school year. ESSER funds have been approved to provide a premium pay for 21-22, 22-23, and 23-24 school years. The criteria includes employment during the fiscal year, prorated for partial year employment, and the 22-23 and 23-24 premium pay would be paid in 2 payments at the end of each semester. But for 21-22, we are requesting your approval to issue a premium payment to our staff. It would be paid out May 18th. Certified teachers, $2,000. Support staff, 52 cents an hour per their base scheduled hours for the 21-22 school year. 10-month admin, 22-26, 11-month admin, 23-76, and 12-month admin and supervisors, 26-65. This would be a one-time premium pay through the ESSER funds.
Do I have a motion to approve the premium pay as set out by Chris?
Oh, sorry.
Moved by Dave, second by Brenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I add one thing?
Yeah.
The total cost of that, which is a small portion of the ESSER funds that we've received, but for the one payment is $738,000 in total.
Okay.
Just wanted to give that information.
Thank you.
That's for this year, right?
Yes,
this
that's the
year's.
payment
Yep.
for this year. Yes.
And the next 2 years will be the same.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next up, I have Miss Marissa DeClerc for approval of GRHS Student Council monetary request.
Hello, Madam Chair Morris, Superintendent. Oh, words are hard. Superintendent Berenger, and members of the board. My name is Charlotte Fowler, and I'm the future student body president for the 2022-2023 school year. And these are
Olivia Laughlin,
Elena Apperson.
and Destiny German.
We would like to go to Laramie for the Wyoming Association of Student Council Summer Leadership Camp this July. We are wanting to go to the camp because it's a great leadership opportunity. Students that have gone before have brought back ideas and ways to help improve our school and council. One of our goals is to learn more about school participation and how we can help improve it and get more students involved. While our school spirit has been improving since quarantine, we feel like we can do more, and a way of doing that is going to this camp. The camp is going to cost us $315 each, and while we are fundraising during the summer, we would like to ask the board to help us reach those funds. We appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, so how many of you are going?
These four.
Or and any and adults?
No.
No, okay. So they've requested $125 per student, so that's $500. Do I have a motion to approve $500 to help these guys go to Laramie for this camp?
Is that what we have done in the past?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll motion to approve.
Tom first. Second by Brenda. Any discussion? Oh, thank you for going. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so
Okay,
much.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Miss Rachel Todd, you're back up for school walk boundaries, bus stops, and hazardous streets.
Hello again.
Hello.
So there's not a lot of changes from last year, and we had a couple stops added this fall. So we did add one more stop that we hadn't requested in the fall, and that is for Wilkes and Roosevelt to facilitate safe stop for the new daycare there at the Wilkes shopping center there. But other than that, it's same as last year. They haven't changed, the state hasn't changed any of the guidance on the walk distance. So everything listed is based on a hazard street. So if we didn't have hazard streets, the majority of our students would walk to school. So we have to identify each hazard street for each grade level clump there, and then be able to have the board approved stops that we survey through as the year goes. When we have forced transfers and that does change, but usually the stops are the same. It's just they're applicable for a school that maybe they're not on this report that we do in May.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the school walk boundaries, bus stops, and hazardous streets? Moved by Dave, second by Ashley. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then approval of the 2022-23 student staff activities, nutrition services, and transportation handbooks.
We will be holding off on the activities handbooks and the GRHS handbook and the Lincoln Middle School handbook.
Okay.
We'll bring those in June.
Okay, are there any changes to any of these others, the elementary schools? No?
Oh, Ralph.
Ralph, Mr. Ralph have something?
Madam Chair, Superintendent Behringer, members of the board, that was short. First off, thank you for the premium pay. That's awesome news. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Updated policies for Expedition Academy this year. The board policies that were done throughout the year. One of the bigger ones is our bell schedule change, looking to match up better with the high school. And we're going to look at having a PLC Wednesday each of our 35 Wednesdays throughout the year. 16 of those will be where our staff goes over and meets with Green River High School and their PLC cohorts. And then the other 17 will be with us in our building PLCs. So we will dismiss at 2:07 on Wednesdays and have that hour of time for PLCs.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
We're going to return to not accepting any freshmen first semester. We've visited with Mr. Behringer. I've also visited with many alternative high schools across the state. And looking at when accepting these freshmen, 99% of them haven't had a chance to be in the high school yet. We've been putting them in with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds sometimes. And socially, physically, it hasn't been a great match. There is occasionally where we have a need, and we will leave that door open and work closely with Lincoln Middle School if there is that need there. And also at the end of their first semester at Green River High School, then we'll look at that transition if need be. Also, one of the factors looking at that is when a student comes with us with our accelerated block program, they graduate after their junior year. Few of the students we've had do that has been very beneficial to them. The majority has not. They're still 16, 17 years old looking to get into the workforce or go to college. So that's one of the changes we're putting in the handbook. Also, the state legislature increased the age for CHINS petitions from 16 to 18 years old. We removed our end of the year lagoon trip. The cost has just been too much. We haven't been able to fundraise and get that in place. We upgraded the graduation requirements as per board policy. We removed the piece about provided such diplomas and credits shall not be deemed earned until payments have been made on indebtedness due to the school district. We took out our COVID-19 inserts. Just our clerical changes with parent-teacher conferences. And we also added a reminder in our staff handbooks. Our staff handbooks. We also removed the COVID-19 policies and added a reminder under staff certification, professional certificates, that it is the responsibility of each staff member to keep their professional licensure through the state of Wyoming PTSB current and to make available that to HR a current copy of their license.
Okay.
So that was our updates. And
thank you.
If you have any questions?
Any questions? Okay, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Aubrey. Okay, so do I have approval of our motion to approve the 2022-23 student staff nutrition services transportation handbooks, elementary school handbooks?
So move.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And then Dr. Foos, you're up.
Thanks again, Madam Chair, Superintendent Behringer, trustees. No changes to the policy. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Kelly Pearson. She's done a lot of work for us over the years and those things on these policies. They start here. We get a lot of them from the School Board Association. Obviously, that's Copenhagen's office, but Kelly Pearson has done a lot of work for us and helped us tremendously. I think everybody knows now she's taken a left-hand turn with her career and gonna be working for a firm back east. So most likely she's listening tonight because usually I get a text from her and Tim about these policies, and I wanted to publicly tell her thank you. There's no changes to this policy on the second reading, and thank you for your consideration.
Do I have a motion to approve of the revision to policy EEAD? Consider revision to policy EEAD, special use of school buses, second reading. Moved by Brenda,
Second.
second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And your next one.
The one that Board of Trustees just approved for the second reading takes care of everything in this policy, and that's why it's going into retirement on the second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to consider retirement of policy EEADA, use of school buses by community groups, second reading?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'll start tonight. I'm like graduation. I'm super excited. This is like my favorite part of the year. So we have EA graduation, we have Green River High School graduation. We emailed out a tentative list. But I would ask maybe the principals email us and let us know what time you want us there for sure. Just as a reminder, because people get busy. So, but the arts fair, the industrial fair, like these kids never cease to amaze me. They have some amazing skills and abilities. I said they should have business cards so we can hire them because they have some amazing stuff out there. So super impressive with these kiddos. Brenda.
Thank you. Just very, like you said, the display of artwork, and not only in the high school, but also at Western, is just amazing. And we have some great students, and I love starting our meetings with the recognition. So thank you for the budget, keeping us on track and up to date with all of that, and very thankful that we can offer that premium payback to the employees for all the hard work through the last couple years. So thank you.
Ashley.
Yeah, also my condolences to Karina White and her family. She was my neighbor for a few years, and just a great lady. And so she'll be missed. She's touched a lot of people's lives. Also, I loved the industrial arts and arts fair. There's amazing work, and it's so great to walk in there and see so many ribbons everywhere. We have very talented students. And also wanted to thank Mr. Stice for watching out for Zach Eben and his family and raising money for them. He's a great guy, and our family has known him from coming to Art on the Green and participating in our community. So I'm glad we could help to support them too. Also, it's almost the end of the year, so enjoy your last little bit. I've talked to lots of elementary students who have loved their ABC countdowns and the pajama days and all those things. So enjoy that, and congratulations to all our graduates. It's a lot of years of hard work and a lot of great influence by all their teachers and administrators and support staff and everybody. So thank you for supporting them, and I'm excited to go to graduation.
Mark.
Really excited to see the seniors graduate. That'll be fun. Always is a good, exciting time for us. Thanks for everybody's hard work, and we'll see you soon.
Mr. Behringer.
I would like to thank everybody that worked with those seniors from the time they entered the school as kindergartners till the time they graduate. It is a great event, but there's so much that goes into it. And, I hope someday they go back and hug their kindergarten teacher and high five their middle school science teacher and tell them that they appreciate helping get to that finish line.
Tom.
Well, first of all, heartfelt condolences to Karina White's family and all of her loved ones. I know she was close to us, and our speech and debate program is amazing, and it's a lot of the credit goes to her. When she and Dan were at the helm, I think we won 4 or 5 in a row with 70, 80, 90 members. I know I used to whine about it when I was running the budget, but what a great program. So, but anyway, I wish Karina's family the best, and I know she's in a better place. Congratulations to the elementary art show. That was amazing. And the industrial art show. I know how much work goes into getting all that stuff down there and getting it out still in one piece, and still a gym floor in one piece. So just that was absolutely amazing. Our skills kids were great. Cole Murray, I don't know if you read about it in Sweetwater now, but Cole just signed a letter of intent to go to Weber State University to seek a degree in mechanical engineering and participate in the track program. So I told Cole last year that when he runs for president, which he's going to run for president of the United States one day, if you and I said you're going to win the election if you just follow my advice. And my advice is just your platform has to be to double Social Security benefits, and you'll get elected by old people because we're the only ones that vote. So anyway, and lastly, well, not lastly, Branson Barton, amazing to go to the Western Wyoming Community College and win that contest when you're competing against schools who those kids are in the welding program for 4 or 5 hours a day, and you're in it for one. That's an accomplishment. So hats off to Branson and Rosie and Terry that helped him get there. And it's not just a welding contest; it's a written exam as well. So that's a big deal. And I think he got a $2,000 or $3,000 scholarship to Westerns, and that's what he plans to do. So
nice.
And lastly, last Tuesday I got to attend the band concert at Green River High School. And hats off to Quinn. What an amazing! I didn't get to go Thursday because we had something going on Thursday, but the band was amazing. But two things stood out to me. One was the drum line. They played on garbage cans with water and colored water. It was absolutely amazing. Reminded me of the Blue Man Group. But one of the most outstanding performances I've ever seen at any level, anywhere, was by Timothy Golightly. And if you know anything about music, Rhapsody in Blue is about a 20-minute piece, and he memorized the entire thing. And not only did he play it, but he killed it. So it was absolutely stunning. So hats off to him. He's an amazing musician. So I'm sure he's in a parade tonight too, because I think it took him 4 years to learn the piece. But anyway.
All right, David.
Not a whole lot to add. Again, about Karina, 2 of my kids are personally impacted by her, what she's done for them. And then enjoy your summer. I know it's a tough time of year. It's the end of the year. Everybody's ready to be done. Enjoy your summer and come back rejuvenated and ready to go.
Thank you. And now entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel, student discipline, and potential litigation.
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
Second.
Second by Ashley. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's a good
executive session. Moved by Brenda. Second by Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I make a motion that we approve the stipulated agreements for student number 20254 and 19514.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Tom. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.